today we have a special visitor, Dr. Rux, who's the Deputy Chancellor of School Leadership. So can you tell us a little bit about your role and how it impacts schools, specifically high schools in New York City?
Hi Lions. Nice to be here in your space, and a pleasure to be here with you both, so that you can learn a little bit more about who I am and the role that I play. So I have a very important position, a Deputy Chancellor for the Division of School Leadership, and what that means is we have 45 superintendents across New York City public schools. I am the one who supervises and supports all 45 superintendents. I also support the 1,700 schools across New York City. You're asked specifically about high schools, so we have 12 high school superintendents, and we have a chief of schools for high schools, and she supports our superintendents to ensure that principals are getting the development, the support that they need to run schools.
That's very impressive. We also had a little knowledge about your background with special education and CTE learning. So can you tell me how your experience with that type of method of teaching is applied in CTE high schools?
So I was a speech language pathologist. That is how I first got my career started in New York City public schools. And I worked specifically with children who had speech and language impairments, right? And what does that mean for high schools? It means that I have the in-depth knowledge of what children and teachers and principals who are in schools that have children with special needs need. And, I have the unique position of being able to connect principals and schools with the right resources to ensure that their children not only grow but thrive in the school setting, and that we're preparing them for their future.
In your view, how can CTE programs help with our special education populations in New York City high school?
So CTE prepares our children for non-traditional paths and career opportunities, and children with special needs sometimes are the ones who don't excel in certain areas but can excel in other areas.
Exactly.
And it is our responsibility as a system to ensure that we have pathways for all of our children, including those who want to go straight from high school into a career. One of the things that I'm most proud of is that we are expanding careers and opportunities in New York City public schools. The positions, the jobs that were available to young people when I was growing up are shifted and changed significantly now. The more young people I meet, the more I'm realizing that that is the wave of the future, and it is our obligation as the leaders of New York City public school to ensure that we have pathways for that engaged in.
And especially because our population tends to have a lot of E&L students. How does CT work with those E&L students, and students who can't speak English, immigrant students, people who don't have their papers to get their jobs? Are there any experiences that you'd like to share with us that really pushes you to continue with this job that you're doing?
So I work very closely with our Division of Pathways and also with the Multilingual Learners office. And we're always exploring opportunities. One of the things that we're proud of is that we continue to connect with the young people who are out there. So whether you're a student who is new to the country or a student who has significant needs, we are exploring those opportunities so the language you speak should not be a barrier to the experiences that you have. So we're continuing to work collaboratively with the other organizations, the other offices within New York City public schools. We're also connecting and partnering with outside agencies, organizations, New York City agencies, to ensure that we're solving the problems of the city for the city and by the students in the system as well.
So most of our students, viewers are students, and you've continuously spoken about all these opportunities. So break it down for us. I'm a student who just came into the country. I just came into Richmond Hill or any of the schools you've worked with. How do I reach out for those opportunities?
So the best way to reach out and to connect with those opportunities is to connect with the people in your school. Okay? From where I sit at Tweed is very far removed from what is happening or from your needs. But my responsibility is to make sure that your principal has access, funding, resources to the opportunities that are available out there so that he can connect each student to the right path for them.
What does it mean to improve the school's climate and the wellness of the students?
Climate is everything in a school. The minute I put my foot in a school building, I already know a whole lot about the school community. The way the safety agent receives me, is there a smile on the safety agent's face? Is there literature on the wall that tells students where to go and what to get? Is there artwork that celebrates what students value in the that's very important to me. Student wellness is also important, and that's the piece where I spoke about every school should have someone who knows students and know them well.
Yeah.
If you don't have that, learning cannot take place.
Have you experienced any challenges while trying to implement all these, initiatives, and how have you overcome them?
Well, every day is a challenge, and every day something new comes that creates a challenge. I'll say this, I don't look at them as challenges, I look at them as opportunities. One of the things that the Chancellor continues to emphasize is parent engagement. And what that looks like for me is continuing to find ways to ensure that we're not doing things to communities, to students, to parents, to schools, but we're doing them in collaboration.
Well, now that the school year is ending, we have two more questions for you just to line up everything. What advice would you give for graduating students?
Graduating students.
Yes.
Go out there and live your life. Do things that speak to your heart and your soul. I meet young people and they say they did this because they wanted to make a lot of money. Or they did that because people told them to do that. But what I find that resonates with me the most are the people who are the most happiest ones are the ones who did what spoke to them in their heart. Sometimes it takes time for you to find what that thing is, but just lean into it. And when you hear it, when it's there, just go after it.
One last question. Well, summer is coming, August. I know you guys still work over the summer, even though we're
12
off.
months.
But I'm sure you guys have some free time, some here, somehow. What do you like to do in your free time? What are your plans for the summer?
I love vacationing. I love going away, hopping on a plane, and just going and trying to leave everything behind, which is extremely difficult in my position. But what I love to do also is Broadway. I love going out to see Broadway shows. I most recently went to see a show that I just love, Hell's Kitchen, which is inspired by the life of Alicia Keys. So you can always catch me on Broadway. I'm around 42nd Street always.
I think I might go. I think Ashiana, did you go with Goals?
Yeah, I did.
Did you see Hell's Kitchen?
No, we went and saw Juliet and the Phantom.
Juliet. Oh,
I think that's my sign to go then.
okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.